Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to Heart of a Hobbit here on the LOTRO Twitch channel here, LOTRO official. Well, hey, I see Just Right Sandy in the chat. Good to see you. And also Old Bear, greetings. And before says hello, I just want to switch over. In fact, you know what? I think we might do without the server text today because I'm all over the place. Well, okay, you know what? We could go ahead and at least change it. Today, all right, now I'm on the Evernight server, but it's possible we're going to zip around to various places today. We'll see. So the big news is that next week, SSG is opening up the new 64-bit servers. And that is when we will be able to transfer for free to those new servers from our existing servers. So what I've done is tried to, excuse me, like an hour before I'm streaming, all of a sudden my throat starts doing weird things. So I apologize. But I've gone ahead and tried to pull up a handful of the websites that will be useful to take a look at today. So for example, we have the details now. On Monday, March 3rd, so next Monday, so 6 days from now. Yes, before I am good, thank you. So yes, on next Monday, if you are a VIP subscriber, you are able to log into the new worlds, but you're not going to be able to play there. All you're able to do is go to the character creation screen and basically create 3 characters. So this is how you're reserving 3 names. That's what, as people have mentioned, you can reserve 3 names. This is how you do it. You're creating 3 characters that you then will, the intention is that you would then delete them further down the road because you are reserving the names of the characters that you want to make sure their names are good. So for example, I often stream with my character Rosenbloom. So I would probably want to log in and create a new Rosenbloom. That way, if somebody else tries to create a Rosenbloom, they're going to get like a Rosenbloom-1. And when I transfer in my actual Rosenbloom a couple days later, then I will get a Rosenbloom-1, but I'll get a rename token. And what I'll be able to do then is delete the character I created on the 3rd, removing then the Rosenbloom that exists that I created temporarily, and then I can rename my -1 into the actual character. So that's what's happening on the first of these 3 days in a row. So Monday, March 3rd is VIPs can go in to each server and reserve 3 names by creating 3 characters. But that's it. You don't get to play them. You don't go through the intro. You don't do anything. You basically just go to the character creation screen, you create the character, and that's all you do. Tuesday, a week from today, is when the actual transfers will begin. So starting at 6 o'clock my time, so that's like a half an hour from now. So in 24 hours and a half, transfers will begin. And I did a video where I kind of walk through what the transfer wizard looks like and how you progress your way through that. So feel free to go and take a look at that video if that will bring you some help. And I'll go ahead and put a whole bunch of links in the description of this video when this video goes up onto my YouTube channel. And I'll include this page from Lord of the Rings Online about they titled it New 64-bit servers are coming soon. So that's the website that has the official SSG information. So that's really handy to have. Okay, so then Tuesday, we're going to start transferring. So you go into the transfer wizard, you say, transfer this character to this place with this stuff or without this stuff, and zoom, and that's it. You just press buttons and your characters are going to start flying their way over to the new servers. The servers themselves are not yet open. So you are just sending your characters off, but you're not going to be going in to play them until the next day, which is Wednesday, March 5th, and that's when the servers actually open. So, and that is at 7 p.m., and it's an hour later. So whatever time it is on Monday and Tuesday for you, it's the same time on Monday as it is on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, just add an hour. I know it says -5, but I think at some point they said it was an extra hour. That's interesting. Now they all say the same thing. Well, there is a new LOTRO Discord. And so a lot of this is being talked about over there as well. So that'd be the place to double check if, what is the actual time. Is it at -5 or -6? Or sorry, -4. Because they had done it that it was the same hour, and then +1. It could have been a typo though. All right. So then at that point, yes, on Wednesday, the server's actually open. So then you can go in and start playing your characters again. Yes, is there a handy video guide to the character transfer wizard? Asked before. I already mentioned that. Yes, people can go and look at that video. And like I said, I'll put the description in the I'll put the links in the description. Old Bear 2017 asks, are you reserving just a name or do you create a full clone character? My understanding is you are creating a full clone character, but it will be basically, if you ever gone to a server and you go through the character creation screen and then you're like, oh, I just don't have time right now to deal with the intro, so I'll just come back to that later. So your character just sits there at level 1. That's basically what you're doing, is my understanding. So your character is going to be sitting there at level 1, hasn't gone through the intro, hasn't done anything, but it is the name. It has the name, and if somebody else creates a character of the same name, they will get the -1 or -2 and so forth. So I believe, yes, I believe you are creating a full clone character. So you could be creating brand new characters that you intend to fully play, is my understanding. Because, okay, so here's what it says. VIP subscribers will be able to log into the game world and access the character creation screen on their destination world and secure up to 3 names per 64-bit world of their choice. VIPs will not be able to log into the game world to play or be able to transfer their existing characters, but they can create characters with their desired names and then later rename their transferred characters to their preferred name after deleting the placeholder character. So it does sound to me like you are creating actual characters. So if you've been like wanting the name Bob forever and Bob is available now, you could try and get it. Now, I was gonna say I don't know, but I do know. If you and 20 of your closest friends all go and create Bobs, the first person to log in is going to get Bob, and the second one's going to get Bob-1, and the next one is going to get Bob-2, and so forth. So if you do choose what might be a very popular name, you may end up finding that you get the -1 just because somebody logs in sooner than you on that server. These are all server by server. Okay, so in preparation for that, I've been going and doing some stuff. And mainly what I've been working in is idea for a kinship, the Bobs. It sounds like something out of like a 1950s music group, you know? Bob and the Dash Ones. Bob and the Dashes. Shoop, dish, whoop. So yeah, so I have been focusing on my housing stuff because, okay, so let me just kind of walk y'all through what my process has been because I thought that might be useful. So I went and created a spreadsheet because that's what I do. And let's skip column A for the moment, but starting with like column B, I went through each server and I logged in to each server and categorized all of my characters. So for example, here on Evernight, so let me just highlight my Evernights here. I went and said, okay, I have an Adamantia, I have an Arthur, you know, and so I like, okay, what is the region? Because that's important for where can I send these people? And then what server are they on? What is their name? What race are they? What class are they? What level? And you'll see I have a level 1 here. That's because that's what I did in that one situation is I just created the character because I wanted to make sure I had the name on this server if I ever wanted to come over and play over here or if I wanted to just stream from here. But I never got around to actually logging in and taking her through the initial stuff. So she's just a level 1 that hasn't done anything, hasn't even stepped foot in Middle Earth yet, but she exists, and so I have the name. What kinship is she in? And then that was the other thing that was really important to me is figuring out who of my characters are the kin leaders, because if somebody is the kin leader, they are responsible for transferring that kin. So let me just scooch that a little closer. So if they are the kin leader, I was like, okay, I need to be cognizant of when we're going, because the way it works is when the kin leader transfers, when the kin leader transfers. So kin leader is on Evernight and they're transferring to Orcrist. They log out, or we're not logged in when we do the transfer wizard. Okay, so we go to the transfer wizard and we say, hey, send kin leader from, kin leader Tide from Evernight to Orcrist. Then it goes through the whole transfer session, thing, goes behind the scenes, does a little, and then eventually I get an email and it says, hey, your character is good to go. You can now log into Orcrist. And so I go and I log in. Now, all of the people who are in the kinship stay in the kinship. All the information that pertains to the kinship goes with that character. So that includes everything from like, how long has the kinship been around? What rank is it? So you can buy your kin house, those sorts of things. Who all are the members in the kinship and what's their start date? It retains all of that information. So when the kin leader gets to the new server, then they can go ahead and buy a new kin house and, and keep rolling forward as if nothing really happened. Then after the kin leader is there, as more people from the kinship transfer in, they are automatically added in because the kinship leader with all that data, it says, I see that character. I recognize them. They're part of this group. And they just automatically slurp them in, and it retains like their join date and, if they've been made an officer or any of that business. So that all continues to stick around. So it's really important then, if you don't want to have to go and, re-add people, and if you want to have that continuity of information, it's really important for the kin leader to transfer in first, and then everybody follows. So that's why I was noting in my spreadsheet, okay, is this character a kin leader? Because they have to be cognizant of all those things. Also, kin leaders, when it comes to housing, which you all know I do have lots of houses, not as many as some, I will mark that, but I do have a few. If I scroll down here, we have role-specific details. This is on the Deco Demu website, and they had a lovely chat with SSG, and they already know a lot about housing anyway, given that they run a housing website, LOTRO housing website. But yeah, they went ahead and had a chat with SSG and then put this information down as clearly as possible, just pertaining to housing. Handy mnemonic, the leader leads the transfer, I guess. Well, the thing is, though, is on Tuesday, we're all going to be going in and transferring our characters. So then on Wednesday, we have to remember to not log in until the kin leader logs in. So that's the thing. You got to keep in touch with your kin leaders if you can. Okay, so kinship leader on the old server, do not disband your kinship. That's an important thing. But you do need to abandon your kinship house, which means you want to, deal with that. And then optionally, manually return decorations bound to other members or other accounts. All unbound decorations will be placed in the kinship leader's housing chest or escrow if they don't have a house. So, for example, if I take my kinship leader, okay, so kin leader Bob is rolling over to the new server, and Bob is taking the Bobettes, the kinship Bobettes, and they have a kin house. So Bob abandons the kin house. All the stuff all the decorations that were there are going to go and kind of sit in escrow. But then when Bob gets to the new server, the first house he buys, if it's a standard house, it'll go into his escrow. If it is a kinship house, I'm not sure if it actually goes into a kinship escrow. I think it'll just go into his personal escrow, or personal kin house, personal housing chest. I think it'll go into his personal housing chest. But that'd be interesting if he buys a kin house first. Will it go into the kin house storage? And that I don't know, actually, for sure. But okay, so then on the new server, once the character's transfer is complete, You're going to log in with the kinship leader. The kinship will retain its full history, as we just talked about. Buy a new kinship house with the refunded funds, because you'll get refunded those funds. You'll have a mail on the new server. And once purchased, actually you might have a mail on the previous server. Make sure you clear your mail before you move. Once purchased, the housing chest will have the same number of slots as before. So if you purchased extra, like using mithril coins, that will be there. And then decorations linked to your account or that are unbound but unlinked will be available from the escrow broker, or they'll go into your chest, as we talked about. So hello, hobnobs. Welcome to the chat. Now, if you are not a kinship leader and you have houses, there's a whole section on that, which is basically you don't have to sell your house. Empty all non-shared chests of the premium houses, and I'll show you what that means here in a minute, because I do have one of those. And then clear your housing chest and decoration slot of items bound to other characters or other accounts if you don't plan to transfer them. If they, I suppose they could be in your housing chest if it's bound to another character, because if you had your chest, your kin chest, or your chest open to other people. That's true. Okay. On the new server, then log in to receive the refund for your houses. So with this house owner situation, the idea is that you are, you're on your old server, you don't sell your house, you transfer, and then when you get to the new server, it's like, well, you had a house, but when you're transferring, you are no longer here, and so all of that stuff gets to follow your character. So that's why you would get the mail on the new server. And you would log in and receive the refund for your houses. All bound and unbound decorations will be available from the escrow broker, but you don't need to handle them immediately. Buy a new house. All decorations will now be in the overflow of the new house chest, or will be in the new house chest. Additional slots unlocked for the house chest will either automatically transfer or be refunded, so you can repurchase them. So that's how that's gonna work. That's what we know at this point. So what was that deal about? Empty the non-shared chests of premium houses. Let me show you. First of all, so here I am with my spiffy looking Bjorning Klaus. And we need to talk to Wenda because we want to be able to bip around to all the various things. So let's grab that, and let me grab this because that's handy to have nearby. Okay, so we're gonna ride over to my house because it's really close by. Now, I know we don't have to sell our houses ahead of time, as we just discussed, but I am sending characters in multiple directions. And so in some instances, it's making sense for me to go ahead and get the housing writs sorted out. So that way I can send those housing writs with the right characters, in which case I need to have the houses already sold. Okay, so this is my mead hall, and it's all decorated up still. I've taken a few things down, but I still have a lot to go. So that's what they're talking about. So if you look at the housing chest here, let me bring this down, see if you can see that all right. There are two options when you're in a premium house. There's two different kinds of chests you can look at. So there's the house storage, and that is like the house that I am currently physically standing in. And then there's the shared housing storage, and that's like if I have a basic house, like a normal, Bree, Shire, Homesteads, Heirloom, that one of those, that's that storage. So this is the stuff, if I were to go over to which house? My house on Long Street in Breeland Homesteads, this is that chest that we're talking about. And then if I were to look at this house storage, that's this one right here. It has only, I don't know if you can tell at the top there, it says 0 of 25 because I have cleaned it out. It can only hold 25 things, and it is not expandable. So that's kind of one way you know that you're in your premium house chest, because it's small and you can't upgrade it. The basic housing, it goes up to like 60 just with in-game currency, and then I can add extra space using mithril coins, which I'm not going to do, but I could. So that's kind of where I'm at today. So, I was going to show you my spreadsheet real quick. One of the things I'm also doing is I made a list of all the houses that I have. Let me scroll it down a little bit. I have a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like doing multiple things on each sheet. So what I have right above here is what carryalls I have. So it's doing multiple duty here. And I can skip that. Okay, so I went ahead and I've listed out all the houses I have on each of the servers. Oops. So that way I can kind of keep track of, okay, like, you know, who's the house owner, because the house owner is the one who's going to end up with the writs when they sell it. And am I okay with that, or do I need to sell the house, give the writs over to somebody else who's going to a different server and sort that out first? Or other reasons I may have. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is working through that. Now, Treebeard, I'm not worried about right now. Treebeard is a legendary server. I have characters over there. Starting with all of this, we will be able to transfer our characters off of Treebeard if we want to, but we don't have to. And so my plan is every so often, I'm going to pick a Treebeard character. I'm going to load them up with a bunch of stuff in their storage and like a bunch of decorations. And then I'm going to send them off to a server where I want those decorations to be. So that's my plan with those folks. Oh yeah, just kind of as a general like overview, I was going to do. Hold on a second. Rent for Fun says hi. Hello, welcome. Where is? Oh, I don't have it right here. Hang on a second. I was thinking that basically it kind of falls into a kind of a series of categories. So first thing is like who. So all my characters. So that's the first thing I did, right? Is I went and I cataloged, okay, who are my characters? So I know a bit about them. And then 2 is then where? Like, where do I want to send these characters? And then I did a lot of sorting with my spreadsheet, because right now they're sorted by server and then character name. But I have the same character name on a number of places. And so I'm like, okay, well, I kind of want to have like, you know, the same characters. I can spread them out. And so I'm like managing that of like, okay, send one of them here, send one of them there, send one of them there, send one of them there, that kind of a thing. So we have the who, we have the where, and then we have the what. And that was some of the other stuff that I was tracking, which are things like my houses, so the housing writs, and the carryalls that I have, the boxes that you, the crates that you can click on to get those universal ingredients out of. So yeah, so these have all been things that I've been trying to like keep track of and decide what is most important and make sure I'm keeping an eye on that. Okay, so Ren for Fun says, I have a question. As a new player, better to start in a legacy server or waiting for the new servers next week? That is a great question. Given that it's coming up so soon, it almost would be worth waiting. On the other hand, I think LOTRO is a really fun game. So I don't feel like there's any need to wait because the transfer is going to be easy. I don't see anything. Yeah. So here's the funny thing is as a new player, with a new account, you have a limit, I believe, of 2 characters per server. So one thing you could do is you could go ahead and start playing on a server of your choice. And keeping in mind that there is kind of a divide in the sense that the server code is broken into either North American servers or EU servers. And they've been named that because originally, back in the day, the EU servers were located in Europe and they were managed by a group called Codemasters. And then Turbine, who owned all of it, LOTRO, was managing the North American servers, and they were located in North America. At some point after Turbine, then it didn't become SSG. They kind of broke off, and so SSG, Standing Stone Games, has all of the servers located in North America. But now they're branching it back out again, and technology keeps changing, right? So now there are going to again be two physical sets of servers, one in Europe, one in the US, and so when you are playing a character on a US server, for example, you can transfer to other servers within that US region, but you cannot transfer between regions. So you'll probably, wherever you want to start playing, you'll want to be mindful of what time zone you're in, probably, and try to maybe pick a server group that fits within that for you. So for example, I live in the Netherlands. I live in Europe. I find that I really enjoy playing on the European servers because I'm up when the Europeans are up, and we're all up and playing together at the same time, and the kinships that I'm in are generally populated with more European folks, so they're, we're encountering the same weather or things like that. So it's I enjoy more being on the European servers because that fits better with my play style and the people times I would be playing with, that sort of thing. Oh, so Rent for Fun says I'm in the EU also. So you probably would want to pick one of the EU servers to start on and probably continue to start playing on that. So the reason I was going over that is because, like I said, when you first start, you only have 2 character slots on each server. So you could start playing on an EU server now, and then next week decide whether you want to transfer that character over and keep playing them, or if you just want to start a new character on the new EU servers, and you've got 2 slots that you could then play with there, and then you've got this other character that you could transfer over later if you want to. So there's some thoughts. Rent for Fun says, oh, but in the Legacy, maybe I might find more low-level players, right? Oh, okay, so you're talking about maybe the Legendary servers, perhaps? So yeah, there's basically 2 flavors of servers. There's your regular live worlds, as they call them. So Evernight, where I'm at right now. Other EU ones include Laurelin, and then there's 2 German ones and a French one. Those are the EU servers right now. The new servers, okay, so yeah, thank you. Yeah, Rent for Fun does mean Mordor. Cool, thanks for clarifying that. Yeah, over on Mordor, so the Legendary servers are slow progression servers. And yeah, to your point, you might actually find more low-level characters there. So what happens with the Legendary servers is they start up and they only have access to a smaller portion of the world, basically the part of the world that you had when the game began. So let's see, Eriador. So when LOTRO started, it went from level 1 through 50. And that basically took you through Eriador here. So when you're playing on a Legendary server, when a Legendary server opens, Eriador is what you have access to, and it goes through level 50. Then they open up like however long. So for right now, Treebeard is running every 6 months, 5 to 6 months. Mordor and Angmar are running about every 4 or 5-ish months. They're not on a schedule. Treebeard is more on a schedule. Those 2 are not. So anyway, so the next one that opened up was Moria. So you get to go into Moria. Oh, sorry, let me go further in here. There we go. And see all these various places in Moria, and that took you up to level 60. And then including Lothlorien, the Dimril Dale, and then you go to Mirkwood, that takes you up to level 65, and so on. So you're slowly opening up more and more pieces of the world. So in the earlier numbers, yeah, people are still more clumped together, and on Mordor we're still in Moria. So the cap is level 60 over there right now, right? So I would say that that is a tough choice. So Rent for Fun, you would need to become a subscriber. So that would be, it's like, what was it, that like 10 euros a month or something like that. You can do it. You could do 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, maybe 6 month, and definitely a year. We started playing, and then when we decided to do VIP, we looked at the numbers and we're like, you know what? To go for a year, it's like it brings that cost way down per month. So we just, and we're always, we haven't stopped playing. You know. But yeah, so we just do a yearly subscription. And so we're like basically always VIP. And I don't even have to think about it. I don't have to remember to renew it or anything like that. So you'd have to think about, would you want to pay money starting off, not knowing the game at all? Now, I think it's an awesome game, so I mean, I'd be like, yeah, sure, go for it. But you know your finances better. Yeah, so like as Mrs. Bungle points out there, yeah, the thing you want to take into account is whether you want to play for free or not, because legendary servers do require subscription. Yeah, Rent for Fun says, support the game isn't a problem if the game is fun. And the game is fun. The other thing you'll run into on the legendary servers is because they've just opened, like in the last year, they have a much lower population. So if you walk into like Evernight, where I'm standing in this game right now, let's just take a look. So you can pull up the social panel, and this will tell you how many people are online that have not marked themselves anonymous. So now people mark themselves anonymous for various sorts of reasons. Like they want to have a very special outfit or special armor, and they don't want people checking it out and figuring out how they could do the same thing. They want to be special in that way. Maybe they're trying to avoid being seen by some people who are being kind of weird. Yeah, there could be, maybe they just want to play and they don't want to deal with like interacting with people. So there's a lot of various reasons why somebody might choose to mark themselves anonymous. But I will say on the regular servers, there are a lot of anonymous people. Many more than you would find on a legendary server. Okay, so with that, I can tell you that right now I'm standing here and there's almost 600 non-anonymous people on Evernight. If I were to go over to Mordor, is anybody on Mordor or Angmar right now? Can tell me how many people? I'm going to guess it's going to be like 100 or so, maybe less. So that means you have fewer people to group up with and fewer people who have resources who could help you out, fewer people who can help you out if you have questions and stuff like that. On the other hand, the legendary servers do tend to be a little bit more, Angmar and Mortar, maybe not as much as Anor was and Treebeard is, but they tend to be a little bit more like, hey, we're all here together. So even though you're not in my kinship, I'll help you out because, we're kind of like one giant kinship really on this server here together, helping each other out. So that's a reason why you might want to go with a legendary server is because people are in general more helpful. There's no trolls because nobody's going to pay to troll. But on the regular servers, there's more of an infrastructure, there's more of an economy, and there's more people. So it's really, yeah. So there's no obvious answer on your question of which way to go. Now, as you can see, lots of people in the chat also have, have been giving you lots of advice. So you're talking about like low-level players. Funny thing is, I would not be surprised with all of these transfers that are happening if a bunch of new people start playing and a bunch of new, low-level people to play with start happening. Also, there's a lot of like early game content that I enjoy and I just never get around to doing anymore. And so sometimes, I'll be like keeping an eye on, there's like a looking for fellowship chat channel you can watch. And so some people will be like, hey, I'm trying to do this level 20 instance and I'm having a lot of trouble with it. There's one that's really difficult. And so that's a really fun time to be like, well, hey, I'm level, 110, but I'll come and join you. So I wouldn't think that you would necessarily have a hard time finding people to help you with specific things, but you might not find as many people grouping up in the early days. On the other hand, like I said, right now, though, with the new servers, people might be getting kind of excited and being like, oh, I'll jump in after all, and, you know, give it a new go with new characters and stuff like that. Mrs. Bungle says, my husband bought the lifetime sub and quit after 3 years. I did not, and still play occasionally, and he won't give me his sub info. Oh my gosh. I would get him to write that down and put it in a safe or something, though, because, like, dude, that's just... Maybe you could get him to give it to you for, like, a birthday present or something someday. So, anyway, okay, so let's see, on Mordor, yeah, we had about 329 people, we had about 600 here. Yeah, it's not a huge difference, but somewhat. 19 over on Treebeard. Yeah, once Mordor and Angmar opened, a lot of people started playing over there who were playing on Treebeard, who were very active on Treebeard. So, yeah. So, before, it does point out that on the legendary servers, so you tend to see a spike in population around release time. Is there a release? We have the new release on the main servers, regular servers coming up. Yeah, but it's also only 6 p.m. here in Central Europe, so many people might still be working or eating dinner. That's true. Yeah, Eros Dark God points out that, you know, I says, I have so many characters that are under level 60. Yeah, so that's the thing is, I mean, a lot of us have low-level characters that we just never get around to playing. So, yeah, it really depends on, I would say just, if you have an inclination to go one way or another, do it. It sounds like you're kind of inclined towards going to the VIP server. I say do it. Because the worst that happens is you find that that particular server experience isn't for you. You're still a VIP. You still get all the benefits of being a VIP. Like that, I don't know if you saw, but at the beginning, I went and picked up a couple of items, one of which is a subscriber's jug. This is a benefit I have for being a VIP, that my crafting time goes faster, because normally when you're crafting, it's like, with this upgraded thing, the acceleration, it's like, it's really awesome. And also, I don't experience any wear and tear from combat or crafting or if I'm defeated. But then the other thing that's super awesome is this bauble that I end up with in my inventory. And that I click on it and I have access to what's called these town services. So I can open up the shop if I want to sell things. I can open up my character's vault. I can open up my shared storage. So there's a lot of really handy things to do with that. So so even if you discover that the VIP experience over on Mordor isn't what you're looking for, and you want to play somewhere else, you still have all the VIP benefits, so that's super handy. Let's see. So, Run for Fun says, in Legacy, I don't need to buy expansion at first, right? Before says, yeah, you can do free to play on the non-legendary servers. So yes, and Erebos Dark God points out that, yeah, if I'm understanding what I read the other day, the new servers coming next week are normal servers, just 64-bit instead of the current 32-bit. And that is correct. They are going to be the same content that you find on all these servers. So, like, I have access to everything in the world on Evernight. And that will be the same case in the new servers as well. So Run for Fun does ask, though, after I can't transfer from Mordor to the new server. Not now. The way they work with legendary servers is they're kind of their own little category. And generally, those, you cannot transfer off of those in general until they get to the point where they've progressed all the way to the same level that the live servers, the regular servers, are at. And that's currently, what, 150? So once the Mordor and Angmar catch up to that, then they'll basically make the decision whether Mordor and Angmar are going to remain open or whether they will be closing. If they're closing, as they have done with the previous legendary servers, the last 3 so far, then, well, 4 if you count Bombadil. I don't know. I don't know if you do. Anyway, when the server closes, they'll offer free transfers off there, and then you can go to other servers. But that's quite a ways out for that particular situation. So, yeah. Now, you could become a subscriber, start playing on Mordor, see how you like that, and then also start a character on the existings or the new servers when they come out next week and see the comparison between those and then kind of make your decision like, you know, because a lot of us have mini characters. Like, most of us are altholics. Just to put that out there. Oh, Rent for Fun says, my concern is that Mordor will die after the new server is coming. They will not. It will not. It is a very, yeah, as Quiznan points out, Angmar and Mordor servers, they have a special event, a special thing that the normal servers don't. They have, yeah, as Ms. Bogle puts it, they have a unique event with special bosses and special bosses. So they're going to remain unique and they're going to remain their own thing. In fact, I would not be surprised to see a bump because I think with the new servers opening, people are going to get really excited and be like, oh, maybe I should go play LOTRO again. But basically, you want to think of it as like, right now we have the US and the EU servers, and they're all 32-bit servers. They're opening new 64-bit servers, and they're going to encourage the people on those 32 bits to move into the 64-bit servers. But they're going to remain normal servers, just doing their normal thing. Everything is open. People are running around, creating groups, all of that. Over on this other little island are the legendary servers, and they're their own special thing. They go slower. You have to be a VIP in order to play on those servers. It's a lower population in general. And in this case, Angmar and Mordor have the wraiths that you can encounter while playing in the game. And that's a special thing that only exists on those 2 servers, and they're not going to bring it to the other servers. So that's always going to be different. So yeah, Angmar and Mordor aren't going to go anywhere anytime soon. Yeah. Let's see. So for the Curious Before did put out what the current pricing is in dollars for VIP. And let's see. Yeah, and B4 points out that if Mordor were to, you know, like, I don't know, the population were to drop off for some reason after 1 week because of the new servers opening, then only playing for 1 week, it's the easiest to redo. That's so funny. Let's see. Mrs. Bungle says, I have a level 100 plus character on another server, but I joined Angmar because the area my old character was in is very empty. That's one of the things I'm really enjoying about the legendary servers is that having characters that are at whatever the cap level is, so like in this case on Angmar and Mordor is 60, and then when they open up the next section, like all these level 60 characters, you know, start like rushing into the new zone that they can do. And so for that first week, couple weeks, it's really busy in that area with lots of people. And that's a lot. I find that a lot of fun. I do find, oh my gosh, when a new server opens, it's like catnip to me. I love seeing all these people running around in the new, you know, the starter zones, and everybody's wearing like the first costumes, you know, the first outfits, first armors that you get, or they're wearing like, yeah, stuff that you get out of your boxes from ordering things previously. So everybody's running around in these same outfits. Like you see the same thing over and over and over again, and you're all doing the same stuff together. And just love running around on a new server. It's so much fun. But I do admit that it starts to kind of like, you do start to lose a little bit of of that excitement as the server gets wider and wider and wider, and people get more and more spread out. Yeah. Now we have, for us, myself and B4, we're over on Treebeard. That's our main server for us. That's where our main characters are located. And we have a group currently of 4 of us. It ebbs and flows. Sometimes we get up to 6, and we were up to like 8 at one point. But right now we're at 4 that gets together on a weekly basis, and we're questing our way through Middle Earth. So right now we have finished the Battle of Minas Tirith. That has happened. And now we're kind of in like a lot of the cleanup stages and stuff like that. So yeah, that's been really fun to continue to do that. So I'm really hoping we can continue to do that all the way to like the end of the server. I'm really looking forward to that. So, LCV4 says, I think that's just the nature of MMO servers, though. Lots of characters at level cap, pretty sparse in the in-between levels, and lots of players at the low levels because some people can't stop making new characters. At which Erebos Dark God says, I feel attacked by this. Yeah, I was looking at my cataloging of characters, and I was a little concerned how that was going to go because there is a max number of characters per server you can do, but I was looking at how many characters I have in total, and not including Treebeard or Mordor. I'm not going to worry about those. So I really only have 24 characters that I have to worry about right now in the transfer. If you include Treebeard and Mordor, I have 42, which is a perfect number. Do I have any at cap? Ooh. Well, I do have some characters at cap for the legendary server. I have, well, let me think. On Treebeard, I have 1 at cap. On Mordor, I did, but I don't think she's at cap anymore when we got past, when we moved up. And on the regular servers, I have 1 at level 150 because I did a Valar. I used a box of goodies that like automatically made her level 150, and yeah, I didn't have to go through the progression of it. So I have not actually taken a character to the current cap by actually playing, you know, the game level by level. Not yet. Come here. Come here. Talking to the cat. Kato just keeps walking back and forth across my desk like she wants something. So I've created a lap for her, but she's being finicky about it. So Prophets TV says greetings to you. We are talking about everybody's favorite topic right now, which is the transfers and, well, the new servers that are opening and whether or not people are transferring. A lot of people are. So, yeah. Now, Erebos points out, though, that says, I actually enjoy it when the area I'm in is mostly empty. Makes it easier to do things like deeds and kill quests. Yeah, I noticed that somebody pointed that out on either the LOTRO Discord or on the forums. They were saying that they're a little concerned about the new servers because, you know, we're taking 5 servers and consolidating to 2. So it's going to be, you know, a lot busier in theory. And so there might be more of a challenge to get the resources you're looking for. But I don't know. We'll see. Yes, Erebos is an altaholic. As many of us are. Although, yeah, I have as many characters on that spreadsheet as some people have on just 1 server. So I recognize that I'm in a much better place for dealing with some of that than some folks are. I get it. So that's nice. Erebos may or may not have found the hard cap on characters in WoW a few times. Yeah. I was really grateful that they gave us an extra 5 character slots. For VIP, and I think plus 3 for people who have purchased anything ever but aren't currently VIP. Because it was like, yeah, so anyway, I think that boosted me up to 18 or 23. I forget. But yeah, I'm really glad about that. So yeah, Erebos, Valard, 3 characters. I understand, like, I have not made my way through yet. My hope was to do that over on Anor, but Anor closed too soon. I wasn't able to get there, so we are trying again over on Treebeard. So Prophet TVs just started playing the Dwarven race. Nice. I am standing here doing nothing with a Bjorning. So I guess I could like be making cakes or something. Could be standing around making honey cakes, you know, have more in my inventory to deal with before the move. That sounds like a great idea. Or I could be turning back and forth into a bear. Rrr. Rawr. Wait, there we go. Rrr. Rawr. Prophets TV says, nice armor. Thank you. This is actually an outfit from one of the festivals. That's the actual armor I'm wearing. It's not as snazzy. What I'm wearing here is the cloak and tunic of entwining blossoms, or entwining if you want to be all enty about it. And he's got the extravagant festival gloves on. And then we've got the mantle of entwining blossoms and also the circlet. So we went pretty full scale on entwining blossoms with this guy. And and the boots. We did the boots too. So check it out. He's all blossomed up. There you go. There he goes. Oh my gosh, Erebos, right? There's something I'd like to see more bear form cosmetics. That would be really neat if there was some way to have, like, you know, something that happens in the bear form that applies to the cosmetics. Now the tattoo on the eye or the face, that persists. But yeah, nothing else. Nothing else. No shoes, no tutus, Sandy. No accoutrement on the tail. Nothing on the ears. Like, yeah, we're just bear, we're bear. But go back to human form. And then you can see, like, oops, I just turned him around. See the tattoo on the face, the markings, that persists. But yeah, nothing else. That would be interesting. I don't know how they would do that, though. It's funny, if you, there are some things that, like, if you're doing as a bear, and they show up while you're in bear form, but they're just, like, hovering in air or something like that. There's some weird stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Erebos points out that, yeah, the only change to the bear form is the tattoo. Yeah. Oh, well. Oh, Prophets asked, do I have my own channel that you can follow? Thanks before for getting Moobot to put that link up there. So yes, my channel is Little Redhead 42 here on Twitch. I rarely stream on my own channel. I'm almost always here because I often stream LOTRO, but occasionally I do stream other things once in a while. I play things a lot. I just don't know. I don't stream it very often. So yes. Oh, but Airboys had pointed out though that to say that the current servers are not closing anytime soon. As long as there's a healthy population, they're not planning to close them. So yeah. So just to kind of put that out there, and let me bring the information page back over. So this is the lotro.com page that they have on called new 64-bit servers are coming soon, and this is their information. So this is all SSG, direct from SSG information. They talk about the dates, what's happening on each of those dates, and they talk about the new worlds, what are their names. Are they North American, which these top two are, or are they EU, which these bottom two are? And that's in addition to the existing 64-bit legendary worlds. So with all of these together, there's going to be 6 64-bit worlds. So that's exciting for them, for sure. But the existing worlds that are 32-bit, that we are all currently playing on, I was wondering if they had a list here, but I don't see... Yeah, I don't think so. Those are staying open. However, I do expect... So, Severlin is the SSG executive producer. So he's like the guy in charge of what happens. And he did an interview with Cordovan. Cordovan is the SSG community manager. And Cordovan streams here on this Twitch channel every Friday at noon Eastern time. And his conversation, in the conversation, Sev said that they'll look at the current servers, the 32-bit servers, in August or this fall, and kind of see how things are. And yeah, he's definitely said something about like if they have a healthy population, something to those effect, to those effects, to those words. I have seen a lot of people talking about transferring their kinships, especially kinships. A lot of kinships are transferring to the new servers because, in part, because a lot of us have houses and we have neighborhoods with our kinships, and there's a desire to get in and get a neighborhood with your kinship started again while the neighborhoods are fresh. So I think that's one of the motivating factors. Plus, then there's kind of like the snowball effect, right? Like if you are often questing or doing raids or whatever with these people and they're going over there, well, then you probably will want to go over there as well. And then, so it kind of has the snowball effect. But anyway, so I feel like a lot of people are going to the new servers. So I would expect that the current servers will continue to see a dwindling population. And I don't expect them to be like, I think the new servers are going to be where it's all at, put it that way. So anyway, yes, B4 points out I've been getting a hankering for more Planet Crafter, so maybe we'll do that during spring vacation. We have a vacation from, well, not a vacation. We still have our normal stuff, but next week in the region where we live, all the kids are off school. And so there's a handful of things that they're like, we're not doing these things because it's vacation. So like my yoga is on hiatus and our Dutch classes are on hiatus and stuff like that. So it's kind of funny. Everybody's like, okay, it's a vacation next week. I'm like, I have some extra free time. That's nice. Sorry, Lou Blood Moon says, looking at you standing near that house chest is making me feel guilty for not starting packing yet. Well, okay, so now we did talk about this a little bit earlier, and I'll just pop back over to remind everybody that, okay, so if I go back to, let's go to Deco, Demieux's website. And when it comes to houses, if you are not the kinship leader, so we'll just skip down to regular owner, right? On the old server, you do not have to sell your house. You have to empty the premium house chests, and you want to, deal with anything that's stuff that's bound to other people. But you technically don't have to sell your houses. Now, I am selling most of my, I'm going to probably sell all of my premium houses before the move anyway, because it's at 100% right now. So you get 100% RITs back versus the price of the thing. Normally it's 90%. So this allows me the flexibility to figure out what I'm doing because, let me see, do I have it in here? I do not. Where are my RITs? Yo. Hang on, let me pull up some stuff. I use alt inventory. I know a lot of people love Kiki inventory, but I started with alt inventory and I really couldn't make the switch over. Interesting. Where? Maybe I don't have any housing RITs. Okay, that's possible. Now, in order for alt inventory and Kiki inventory to read what's in everybody's inventory, you have to have it running. This is a plugin, and open up your vault and your shared storage. And if you want it to read your wardrobe, you need to look at that too. So it's possible I haven't done that on all my characters recently, but I definitely need to double check. Yeah, and Erebos, they don't go into the wallet because when things go into the wallet, they can't come back out. They can't, yeah, they're not a physical item anymore. They just exist in your wallet forever. You can spend things out of the wallet, but you can't, like, I can't take these 100 bingo badges and hold them in my hand. Like, they're just there. Yeah, so, okay, so one of the things I'm planning to do is, because this is a meat hall, it's a giant house, and I want the RITs because I want to send some of the RITs with him to where he's going, but I want to send some of the RITs with one of my other characters who are going to a different server. So this is on Evernight, so I'm sending, he's going over to the role-playing server, whereas I have an elf and she's going to the not role-playing server. So, and I want to make sure over on the on Orchrist that I have enough RITs to potentially buy an elven kin house when they become available. And a mead hall cost a lot of writs. So I want to sell the mead hall and give most of the writs to my elf so she can take those with her to Orcrist. And then the rest of the writs are going with him over to Meriadoc. But I'm also working my way through my characters over on Laurelin and figuring out how many writs I have there. And then I can figure out how many do I need from here and send them that way versus how many the other way. And actually, let me just double check. I have this on my spreadsheet, but yeah, this is the only premium house that I have on this server right now. So this is the only one that's going to give me any writs anyway to work with. So I definitely want to sell this house before the transfers happen, because the other thing is the elf is staying here for a little bit. She's staying on Evernight a little bit longer, and then she'll transfer over. But he's going right away. I don't have a need to keep him around. So I want to make sure I have the writs divided before he transfers. So that's why I'm standing here by this chest. Well, that and because I was also showing the difference between the two chests. But I did empty out my house chest for this house. So that's clear. The chest of stuff at the other house is still there. And that's the other thing, is I'm trying to work my way through, is that I want to send the more role-play-y stuff with him. Plus these great lilies are gorgeous, and I want to send those with him. But I want to send the elfish stuff with my elf, so when we get that kin house over there, we can decorate it nicely. So that's why I'm kind of like going through and dividing stuff up. So some of it I'm just putting in his inventory. Like the mysterious door. This is what's crazy. Okay, so the mysterious door came from an expansion, right? And you purchased it, and every one of your characters gets one. This one is bound to him, and he's the one who has to move it and put it up and take it down and all that. But most of the time, and this happened even on Laurelin, it's bound to that character's account, which means all the characters can pick it up and set it down. So it's a little wacky. Anyway, so yeah, I've got stuff to still sort between them, and I thought I might do some of that during the stream. We'll see. So let's see, where are we at here? Thanks before for putting my transfer guide, or I did a short video, like 5-6 minutes, about how to use the character transfer wizard. You're going to want to have that knowledge next Tuesday. So there's a link to that video in the chat, and then I'll also put that in the description. So, Erbo says, I'm not looking forward to the transfers. My whole family plays or played on Landreval, and only 2 of us are currently playing. Oh. So, it depends on where you're going, but either way, whether you're going to, so Landreval would be Pippin or Glamdring, right? I mean, there's going to be people, there's going to be lots of people there, so hopefully you'll find some folks to play with. I'm actually, yeah, I'm going to be curious to see. Although, to be quite honest, I spend almost all my time on Treebeard and Laurelin right now. And I expect after the server, I'm going to transfer everybody probably within a month or 2. I'm going to transfer my mains right away. My main on Laurelin is going right away. So after the transfers, I'll be pretty much full-time on Treebeard or the new servers. That's pretty much where I'm at, is what I'm thinking. Erebos has 2 PCs and 5 people. Oh, that's rough. Yeah, okay. I can understand that. You need to make friends with people who who tend to buy new computers and upgrade them every so often, and then use their old computers. See if you can get their old computers from them. Yeah, Skagosi points out there's so much new stuff in Planet Crafter. I know! I have not gotten into Planet Crafter since the update where they added the car. I haven't played with the car yet. So that may be something that happens next week. Because I'm like, ooh. Yeah. Yeah, B4 points out that, yeah, we reached the initial game end. We've played through the entire Planet Crafter. But then just before the decoration update, so we've got a lot to catch up on. Yeah. Yep. Oh, and Erebos points out that the wallet update was a great change. I love it. So it used to be for folks who are newer that all of these things, not all of them, but many of these things were physical items in your inventory, and they were like bound to character. So you had an entire chest. At one point, I had like half a chest, housing chest full of, all these various tokens and currencies and all these various things that you can't, like, you couldn't trade them to another character. So it's not like I could pile them up or anything like that. Or even the ones you could, like the Hobnanigans you don't still, but they're one of the few things that stayed out of the wallet. But yeah, oh my gosh. Then they opened it up so the wallet could hold all of these things. And it was great. So I just went to my chest and I was like, remove out of the chest. And I went slurp right into the wallet. It was like, remove, remove, remove. And I got like, oh my gosh, I don't know, like 50 inventory spaces. It was so good. Oh my gosh, it made me so happy. Oh wow, Urbos is talking through the computer setups at their house. Oh, yeah. One of the PCs hasn't been turned on in 4 or 5 years at this point. So Prophet asks, how long have you all been playing LOTRO? I know some folks have, like Skosi, you've been around for a while, haven't you? And Erebos has a lot of alts. B4 and I, so now B4 actually played when the game first came out. But then life was happening and he was busy and stuff like that. So he did not continue to play at that time. And then somewhere around end of 2018 or so, I was like, hey, I'm itching for some video gaming because I've loved playing video games like forever. I used to have an old Atari 2600. Anyway, so I started looking around what MMOs were available that he and I could play together and came across LOTRO, and he's like, well, I played LOTRO before. I'm familiar with this game, and yeah, it just seemed like it would suit the pair of us. And so we checked it out. And so we've been playing anew since January of 2019 is when we started playing together. Let's see, Erebos says, I think I started in 2018. Lou Blood Moon, I've been playing since beta, so pretty much for 18 years. That's pretty cool. Skagosi since 2009. That's so cool, you guys. Yeah, there's definitely a part of me that's like, man, I wish. But thinking about, like, when the game started, what was it, 2007, 2008, 2009? So like, what was I doing then? 2007, I was about to move from the mountains with my first husband and my kids. And then 2008, we were busy with a lot of stuff. And 2009 is when I wouldn't have had access to a computer, really. Well, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. It's difficult to think that I might have had a chance to do this, but I don't, to have been playing LOTRO at the time, but I don't think I did. I don't think it would have been a very slim chance that I would have been actually playing LOTRO way back then. So here's something fun I did. Oh, I think I've already tied it up. I did tidy this up. So this is the fire pit slot, and the Rohan houses were the first houses, the first premium houses where this was a a decoration thing. And so I put this laden banquet table into the spot because I liked all of that. But then I also took a whole bunch of other things like, I think I put them elsewhere. Yeah, I like other food items basically, and added them onto the table. Like I dragged them in from other spots. So like using this furniture hook spot, and then like, oh, actually let me grab what's there. Yeah, so like using that and then putting like okay, not in this case, it wasn't actually a barrel. It was smaller stuff. It was like the platter of this and the platter of that. But like basically you could do that. And so it looks like it's on the table, like a part of the decoration. So I did a bunch of that, which made the table look even more full of food and stuff. That actually doesn't look bad there now that I look at it. That's funny. But yeah, so I thought I'm kind of going through and grabbing the stuff, and that way I can kind of assign it to the characters who I want to make sure take it with them to the new place. Because some things I'm like, well, that definitely has to go with so-and-so. Other things I'm like, I don't know if I care. Like these column surfaces, that's rough because I think they only work in the mead hall right now. There aren't any other, maybe Erebor. So who's going to take those? Because I don't plan to have another mead hall anytime soon. But I might send them with the elf just because, like, maybe she... You know, I could just sell them. They weren't hard to buy. For 3 coin, I might just sell them. And then I can always just buy them fresh if I want to. So another thing I've been doing is I've been going through my houses and kind of making notes of the color combinations and things that I've really liked. And so I can make sure I put it back together, you know, in a future house. So, let's see, what was it? Oh yeah, before just point out though that if you're willing to dial the graphics back to the lowest, LOTRO will run on some pretty old hardware. Like we have done that. We have run LOTRO on some computers, laptops that were not really happy doing that, but you put everything to the lowest, you don't have anything else running, like don't have any, you know, browser windows open, don't have Discord running, you know, all of those sorts of things. Like you just close everything else down. And if you do that, you can actually run it on LOTRO on an old laptop. So, you know, it's a possibility. But on the other hand, depends on what your like quality of life experience for that. So, I don't know. Excuse me. Let's see. Prophet says, I feel like a pauper in a loincloth. Hey, you know what though, Prophets? You play long enough, and you're going to be one of those people that people will be like, how long you been playing? You'll be like, I've been here 5 years already. And they'll be like, what? How do you know all these things? You're like, just play the game. You learn all sorts of stuff. We were all new players once. Oh yeah, this crazy area. So I probably won't bother recording how I have all this set up, but I tried to make like a parkour area. So like, and I'm terrible at parkour, y'all. So don't think of this as like how this is supposed to go. But yeah, you just jump from one thing to the next, and you'd go from here out to the rug and over to the table, and then I think I had another table there. I think that's why I just took apart, and then you know, you jump all the way across, and then you'd end up hopefully up there on top of like the statue. But I'm terrible at it. I never could finish it. Now, funny thing is, rugs, you can lift them up in the air, and then you can stand on them. So that's pretty wild. Oops, hello. Don't know what I'm doing. I've been playing a lot of Valheim, so I was just trying to move my character by Valheim commands. That's not gonna work. But yeah, from underneath though, the rug is invisible. So it looks like you're just standing like in midair, even though you're standing on a rug. It's so weird. Cracks me up. Yes, there you go. Chris Leo says, I just started playing 17 years late. That's all. There, see? Oh, Erebos was in Wayward's Kin on Landy. That's somebody else we've lost. So one of the things that has come up a lot in the last, you know, month, well, they announced in December that they were going to be opening the new servers. And since then, yeah, there's been a lot of conversation about, you know, do we move, do we not move, and those sorts of things. And I mean, the consensus pretty much is, in the groups that I'm in, at least, excuse me, is moving makes the most sense right now. So we're going to go ahead and do it. But people who are no longer with us, like, I'm not just talking about people who don't play, but people who've like passed away. There's, if they had a house or anything like that, what some people have been doing is they've just been maintaining that house. Like when you own a house, let me get out of this for a second. You can have like, okay, so for example, this is my house and I can have maintenance and permissions. And so in the permissions, I can choose everyone can visit, can do maintenance, and use decorations. And so I have that set up on all of my stuff that everybody can do maintenance. So any random person could come walking by my house, click on the maintenance button in my yard, and deposit an upkeep to keep my house open. So a lot of folks who were kin members or friends or whatever of people who've passed away, if the houses were open for maintenance, they've just been keeping their houses open, keeping them maintained. So there's like this kind of a presence for the person who's passed away still on the server with you. The other thing is sometimes you have something that might be like bound to a particular character. Okay, so well, like that they crafted, or not, or maybe that they got from questing or something like that. So you can take things that you have acquired through various means, and even though it's bound to your account, you can place it in somebody else's house. And so a lot of people have decorations that were made or earned by somebody who has now passed away. When you sell or abandon your house, bound items go back to the player, go back to the character, to the account. Well, some of those people are no longer with us, and so those things go back to an account that's, not active, and we have no way to like, yeah. So it's been hard for some people who have lost people who they were very close to. Because, sometimes they used to go into the house and be like, oh, hey, there's that table that so-and-so made for me. And, makes you feel good. And you get to see, it's like, spending memories with them. And so that's one thing that is being left behind. And people are a bit sad about that. So, and Wayward was one of the people who's, they were part of the LOTRO community. And they sadly passed away a few years ago now. Yeah. So, yeah, in the Hobbit community, we've got some folks like that. And in the music community as well. It's just, just something to, something that is. Oh, and Wayward didn't do that with their houses. So their house and the kin house are gone. Oh. Yeah. The one good thing about, not good thing, is that if somebody was the kin leader and they passed away eventually, like under the kinship, there will be like a usurp button. So the kinship won't disappear. You can keep the kinship alive, at least, by having somebody else take over the kin leadership. And that's another thing that people are losing. Because if you go to your kinship tab and you're looking at like, like people who haven't been online in a long time, like someone who's passed away perhaps, you might still see their name there though. Like, unless you kick them out of the kinship, their name is still there. And so some people do that where they'll go and they'll look at their kinship, and just kind of review like who is, still listed. And that's a kind of a sweet thing to do. But once you transfer, all that data goes to the new server, but they're not listed in your kinship unless they also transfer those characters. And so that's, another way in which we will lose some folks. So, yeah. Yeah. So sorry to be a bummer there, y'all, but that is one of the realities, unfortunately, that this move has brought to people's minds. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. So, Oh, Erbo says, my fiance and I have some in-game ties that we are holding on to from Wayward. We actually met them IRL. So yeah, the nice thing is if somebody crafted something and it's not bound and they gave it to you, then it still would say crafted by so-and-so. So that would be, you know, a neat way to remember somebody. I don't know if y'all noticed, but my bag's starting to get kind of full here. I have to drop off some stuff. You didn't find out until about a month after the fact, and you weren't playing actively at the time either. Well, I mean, it wasn't like she was a little. They were a little private about it, I think, too. I knew because of the streamer, because I had joined the stream team by then, and they were still sometimes streaming then. And we also have a bug in the friends screen that lists our characters as still being in the kit. Ah, that's another thing. And this is also a tip of sorts. The friends panel is server specific. Oh, even though the kin no longer exists. How wild. So the friends list is server specific. So if you want to remember to refriend people that are on your friends list when you get to the new server, basically take screenshots and then you can type them in on the new server. That's there's no other good way to maintain that information. You just have to retype it in, it looks like. But wanted to make sure people know that. All right, I had better, let's see, do I have... Oh, here's a funny thing I discovered is the carryalls, you can rename them now. But if you do so, like for example, my housing, do I have housing carryalls on this server? Yes, I do. No, I don't. What? Why are those there? If you rename them and then you go searching, okay, so like I used to be able to just do carryall. Only the things that still have the words carryall in the name will show up. So I've started kind of changing the way, like I used to just call them, you know, wood and boards, but now I'm like, oh. So now I'm starting to change the name back to say the word carryall in it. Just for now until I've come up with a better thing. Because otherwise I don't know where my carryalls are. Here's another thing that I'm doing in my to-do list is I have, so when you transfer, all of your shared storage is going to lump in together, regardless of where it came from. It's all going to be one thing. And whatever character is on that server, the tabs as they are named, that's what they will be for every other character who transfers in. So if you have a list, you know, if you've named your tabs in one way on one server and you've named them differently on another server, it's not going to be like, oh, this is the same name as that, I'll just slurp that over there. Nope. It's like, space 1 goes to space 1, space 2 goes to space 2, you know, 3 to 3, 4 to 4, 5 to 5. It is word agnostic. So what I have been doing is I have kind of a standardized list that I like now of my tabs and the orders and the names. And then I'm making sure everything is organized on that server to match that. So I'm trying, and I haven't done that on Evernight apparently, because this is currently still called carryalls and cash. So if I'm passing, like if I have characters that need money, I can put it in here and then they can go into the shared storage and take it. And then the second one has no name because I'm putting other stuff in there. And then, and so forth. So I need to go through and slurp out things that are for specific characters. Like for example, Cloudberry, I have a whole pile of stuff here, of stuff that she's supposed to pick up. And then, let's see. So let's see, housing and dyes. Okay, we'll rename this one because it is pretty close to what it's supposed to be. Housing and dyes. So that's where my dye carryall goes. In fact, do I have a dye carryall on this server? I do not. so sad. I am so hoping that they put the carryalls on sale before we transfer. So like this Thursday, I'm really hoping they go on sale because I would love to be able to slurp up a whole bunch of stuff into housing carryalls and that sort of thing. Oh my gosh. Okay, and so then the next one is parties and instruments. Good. So that's where I put the things that are like the things that I give away, or like the dwarf candles. Those are fun to put on, you know, during events, things like that. Let's see, this one, oh, is actually further up now. Oh, so this is part of my process right now, is going through and kind of standardizing all the stuff. So that way it's easier to figure out, you know, where everything's going to go. I might just go ahead and start renaming these. Well, now I should probably grab Cloudberry and get her to grab those things though before I forget what that is. That's my combat tab. So, okay, so this one is no longer tasks. This one is critical items, metal, tier 1 through 6, and 7 plus. Those are separate carryalls that I have. I have a critical items carryall, metal tier 1 through 6, and metal 7 and above. B4 started doing that, and I decided I really like that. And so I'm like, yes, we're going to do that. So then this one is the crafting carryalls. So that's what's supposed to be here. So for example, now this wood and boards carryall can go here. And let's see, has this one got anything in it? Oh yeah. It's a carryall, but it's unsorted. We're going to call it that. Unsorted carryall. That sounds great. And then that can go in the crafting one for now. And we'll figure it out later. What's in this one? At one point, every so often, like, carryalls would be on sale, and I would buy a whole bunch of them. And then I ended up in, like, weird situations like this. This is also unsorted. We'll call this unsorted 2. And the funny thing is, there was a point where they changed it so you could rename them like this, but then when you put them into your shared storage, the words would disappear, and that was like, no. But yeah, now it works just fine. So that's awesome. That has been such a huge quality of life improvement. Like, oh my gosh, so good. So here's the thing that I also have to figure out is shared storage is going to go with my bear, go with my Bjorning. So I want to make sure that everything that's in my shared storage, I want to go to where my Bjorning is going. And then my elf then needs to hold everything on her person and in the house, because she's keeping the house for now. Yeah, so she needs to keep everything like with her that is going with her to the new server. So yeah, it's a little bit of like, now if I had to, I could pull stuff out of shared storage if I have more than what could fit on her and have other characters holding it. And then after one shared transfer, yeah. So then I could, okay, so here's how I could do it. Let me think my way through this. I could send my bear with their shared storage. That clears out everything. Then I could put a bunch of stuff that a character is holding, put that in shared storage, send the character without shared storage, and then she just takes what she's carrying. Yeah, I think that would work. So Coruscant 88 says hello, hello, and welcome. Yeah, so we are kind of looking at some of the processes that I'm going through in preparation for this big server transfers that are coming up. Now, to be fair, you don't have to transfer your characters. Nobody's forcing you to, but it's definitely, you know, I am planning on doing it, and so I have a lot of tidying I want to do. So speaking of, I think I will Okay, now hold on. Cloudberry does not need to take some of this stuff. In fact, does Cloudberry need any of this stuff? All right, you know what? We're going to switch characters for a moment. So let's close out of that. All right, we'll check in on Cloud and see what's going on and see if she needs any of that stuff. So Coruscant says, hi, I am a new player playing on Mordor and I would love to ask a question about crafting. Well, ask away, and I'm sure me and the chat will be happy to give you hopefully correct answers. We will do our best. So what do you know? What is your quest? That's awesome that you're playing on Mordor. See, I don't know if who is that person from earlier on? Rent for Fun. If Rent for Fun is still around, there's potentially a person you could connect with over on Mordor. Okay, so this is my house in Bree. No, we do not want to join the wherever things. And so I have a number of things here that I want to send with the elf, but then I have some things that I don't. Oh boy. Okay, but let's not get distracted, right? Don't get distracted. But hey, I did it up, like I did my house kind of like as a place that a Bjorning would be very comfortable, even though my elf is the main house owner. So here, I'll just show you my house real quick. Oops, wrong button. There we go. So we have all these really cool flowers, making it very bear friendly and cozy. We've got a spit with some food on it, but that's because, you know, some people like meat. The bears don't have to eat it, but that can be for other people. Oh, I had a little birdhouse here. I did go ahead and take that down and pack it up. And then we've got some cool, like a crafting space there for making potions and stuff. And then over here, we've got kind of like a cozy space also. So that was kind of fun. Hey, why is this not lit? Is it the sort of thing where you have to light it? Hang on. Oh. What? Does nothing. I did not know it was not lit. Or maybe it is and it's just not working or not showing up at the moment. Okay, so Coruscant says, thanks. It's about the universal crafting kits. I don't know how to use them. I think it gives me materials to craft for my profession. Okay, so yeah, let me, so there's two different things that both, I believe, have the word universal in them, and that can lead to confusion. So, oh, you know what? I don't have my UI up. Let's pull that up. Yeah, so let me get to a place where I can open up some things, and I will show you what I know, and hopefully that will answer all these questions. And I'm sure people in the chat will start saying things. All right, so let me get my VIP rewards because that will make this easier. Okay, actually, let me close all those. In your crafting panel, you can make stuff, right? Okay, so let's say as a cook, I want to make this small feasting table. And I have, actually that may not be the best example. Let me go to tailoring. Let me go to something that where you can end up with something fancy. Okay, here we go, this is better. Okay, so as a tailor, oh, Mr. Rosh has a quick question there. Are you employed to stream on LOTRO? Because I always see different people streaming on this channel. Sorry if it's an inappropriate question. Totally fine question. No big deal. The answer is no, not employed to stream on the channel. Everybody who streams on the channel is a volunteer. We're just streamer. We're just people who play LOTRO and enjoy playing LOTRO and have been given permission to stream on this channel. The only exceptions to that are there occasionally SSG employees do stream here on their own channel. Fair enough. Cordovan streams every Friday at noon Eastern time. Scenario, he's a world builder and he streams usually about once a month, showing off different regions that he's worked on. He and Orion, another developer, have a ongoing thing now called We Have a Cave Troll. I think that's also monthly. And where they talk about all sorts of LOTRO related things, behind the scenes stuff. It's kind of cool. And then occasionally, Severlin, who is the SSG executive producer, will come on and talk with like Cordova and get interviewed basically. So aside from those four, generally everybody else you'll see on here is just a fan of the game and been given permission. Yeah, just for fun. Yeah. So, okay, so back to your question previously, Coruscant, about universal crafting stuff. There's two things that, oh, okay, well, there's three. Let's just start at the beginning. I want to make this superb traveler's armor. I can use 4 glazed sturdy leathers, 2 brushed sturdy leathers, a bolt of cotton, and a ruby shard. If I have all of those ingredients in the numbers that I need, it will provide to me one of these. It will give me this superb traveler's armor. There's a chance, right now it's a chance of 7%, that I might get the better version of this. The exquisite version instead of the superb version. Okay, so I can increase the chance of my critical chance here. And I can use this expert tailor's journal. If I use that, it would get me up to, it would add 35%, so I'd be at like 42%. There's also a thing called a universal optional crafting ingredient. This is a thing that can end up in your inventory. You can pass it between characters. You might acquire such a thing from, if you do task boards, you can get a quest where you do 10 task boards, and the reward is one of those universal optional crafting ingredients. That is an item that allows you to 100% crit. Okay, that is one thing. There's another thing called universal ingredient packs. That's this. If I were to check this box, it's going to use these things called universal ingredient packs. I don't need to spend. Notice all of those other ingredients list went away. So I don't need to actually spend the leathers and the shard and the bolt of cloth. I don't have to deal with any of that. I can just use ingredient packs. It's going to tell me I need 4 of them. That the cost is the second number there. It will be, and it tells you here in bright orange, warning, items crafted with ingredient packs will be bound to your account upon creation. So I can use these ingredient packs. They're universal. They take the place of any other material I might need. But I can only make these things for myself. I can't make this and give it away to somebody else. So hopefully one of those two things is what you were asking about. So and that's why it's confusing, because this is the universal ingredient packs that take the place of other ingredients. But then you also have the universal optional crafting ingredient, which takes the place of the critical item thing that you can add to make sure you get the critical item version. Now, then before did start to muddy the waters a tiny bit, because you can also have, instead of your tools, there's universal tools that you can buy in the LOTRO store. But that's different. Yeah. So of course, so these packs are only for crafting items like armor, but not for getting you wood or leather or leveling my profession. Generally, that is a correct answer. If I want to level my profession, let's say I'm sitting here at Supreme and I'm just really struggling to get the materials, let's say, I can sit here and use these universal ingredient packs, and I can make myself Rock Climber's armor. It'll give me 6 XP towards my thing. It's worth 1 penny if I use the ingredient packs. So I could sit here and craft these things for crazy, and it will help me level my stuff. But then I end up with an inventory full of stuff Then you just sell them for a penny each, and it's really silly. It's quite ridiculous. But yes, I have done such things. And I can tell you partly why I have been able to do such things, because you may have noticed when I pulled this up that I have 4,000 ingredient packs of these universal ingredient packs. How in the world did that happen? Well, if you are lucky enough to have a friend or a kin member, or perhaps even yourself, there are these two items that you can get from the LOTRO store. There's the ingredient crate and a premium ingredient crate. And if you click on the ingredient crate, it will, your character does a little, hey, check in the crate. And I just acquired 3 of those packs. Now, anybody can do that. Now, if I look at it now, it'll give me a little hover over and says my cooldown is now 21 hours and 59 minutes. So every 22 hours, I can bring this character to an ingredient crate and check it out, and I get three of those ingredients. So if you do that every day you're in, you can really they can start to pile up. One way they can really pile up is because if you are a VIP subscriber, you know, longtime member or lifetime subscriber, any of that, you can also use the premium ingredient crate. And if I click on that, that gives me an additional 6 of those ingredient packs. So I just got 9, which is pretty awesome. And you can do that with each one of your characters that's level 15 or higher. So if you have 5 characters, you could just, you know, log in, grab crates, log out. Go to the next one, log in, grab crates, log out. So that'd be like 45 crates in a day. Yes, and Erebos points out you can also get them, oh, the toolkit, sorry. Although I have gotten these ingredient packs from Hobbit gifts. But yes, you can also get a universal crafting kit from, but it's low chance. No, what we're talking about here, let me go to the LOTRO store real quick. Coruscant, can I travel from town to town and collect all boxes or only one in a day? Yeah, it's got a 22-hour cooldown. So each one of those boxes, yeah, they're all linked, as it were. So it knows that you've done the ingredient crate, and it knows you've done the other ingredient crate. You can only, but yeah, so this is what those crates look like. So there's one, that's the regular one, that's the premium one. They cost 995 LOTRO points, but occasionally they go on sale. So yeah, what you want to do is you want to find a house that has them and just kind of like get yourself a milestone nearby or something, and just check that house. Just pop over there every day and grab 3 of those ingredient packs. So they're very useful. They're very handy. So yeah, there's definitely, and thanks for asking, because there's definitely players who've been playing it for years, and they're like, I had no idea what these things were for. So I'm very happy to, yeah, to provide information on that. So let's see, while we were in the middle of that, Jules Quests asked, do you know how many characters we can transfer to to each server? Like, what is the max character slot for the servers? It's going to be the same, as Erebos points out. It's the same as what you currently have. So whatever your max is, so let me log out. It should take me back to my character screen, and I can show you where you should be able to find this information. Okay, so here so up above my head, way up at the top there, where it says characters, I have 23 character slots available total, and I have used 5 of them on this server. So I used to have 18, but as before put in the chat there, SSG said, in preparation for the introduction of the new 64-bit worlds, we are increasing the base number character slots available for VIP and premium accounts. VIP accounts with active subscriptions will have access to 12 free player character slots, increased from 7, and premium accounts will have access to 10, increased from 5. So if you do the math, they added 5 to each of these. So VIP got 5 more, premium accounts got 5 more. Character slots for free accounts and for Monster Play characters are unchanged. So I will be transferring like these 5 characters various places. Let me see. I've got my handy dandy spreadsheet. So this is why I thought it might be handy to have my spreadsheet, you know, nearby. So what I did is I went and cataloged. Here, let me log back in. She's noisy. Well, she's not noisy. The login screen's noisy. I went ahead and cataloged all the characters I have on all the servers, so I know who everybody I have. And then I figured out, so this is kind of going back to my earlier. So who all do I have? Where are they? What are their names? What do they do? All of that. And then where do I want to send them? And then lastly, what are they taking with them? So those are my thoughts. So Mordor and Treebeard, I'm not going to worry about, but all these other characters, I've figured out where they're going, what's their target server. So if I do, where's my data doodles? Hang on. Maybe I need the words. I need the words. Okay, data, sort range. I'm going to do advanced because I want to sort by target server, which is N. And then I want to sort by, let's do name. Okay, so I know like these characters are going to Meriadoc. These 2 are probably going to Orcrist. These guys are going to Peregrine. So Peregrine has the longest list, it looks like, at the moment. And that's 12 through 24, so like 12 characters. So I know just by looking at my spreadsheet that I'm going to be okay with that. What did we say? I had 23 slots. So yeah. So I think I'm going to be okay. Yeah. Immortality says, holy crap. How many, or how my organization skills? Like, there's a lot of holy crap and that could be implied here. All right, we're getting rid of that. Oh, some of those character names sound very Dutch. Well, they are. I have a lot of Dutch character names because I live in the Netherlands. So I have, me and before both have been quite enjoying giving our characters Dutch or Dutch sounding names. So are you, or Immortality, are you Dutch or familiar with the Dutch language? Hey, whoop whoop, fellow Dutchie. New character name, Echtvaar. Oh, that's good. Oh, I like that one. So we have a character, so we were having fun, and before has a character named Tasha, which, for those not Dutch, it basically means like a small bag. So a tas is a bag, and then the Dutch just put little cute words on the end, put the kind of j on the end of things to make it like diminutive. So like a girl isn't just a mei or a maid or maid, but she's a meisje. So that sort of thing. And so if you're like shopping and they're like, hey, would you like a bag? They're like, hey, would you like a tas? But they don't say tas, would they say a tasje? But they say tasje erbij. It's just a thing. It's like more of sentence construction. We're not going to get into it. So yes, his character's name is Tasha, and I said you should give her a last name of erbij, and he did. It makes me very happy. I love the diminutive thing. I think it's adorable. It makes me very happy. Like, ice cream isn't just ice cream, it's like icetje. So, you know, that's fantastic. Okay, so this is stuff that I had set aside because I wanted Cloudberry to have it. But now I've changed my mind because she's not really questing. And so I'm just double checking to make sure I didn't put anything in here that is bound to her, because I have done that by mistake, is putting things that are bound to these characters into my shared storage, and that is not a recipe for success. I think I don't care about the fancy boots. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. I think I'm just going to leave her at level 47, probably. Does she have her legendary items? She does. I think... I don't know. Am I right? Oh, there's something that's bound to a character. All right, we need to fix that. Oh, hang on, cancel. I have it tied. Okay, so Cloudberry, where is it? Where did it go? What was it? There it is. All right. See, that's what I mean. Like, I start grabbing things and I throw them in here, and then later on I discover, oh, that was actually bound to somebody. That's a problem. Whoopsie. Now, these heraldries, though, there are some Bjorning specific things that I had put aside for her. So we are going to grab those. And see if I can put them on her legendaries or not. You know, maybe she can use them later. We'll find out. Okay, so I think we're good with what's there. So I think Cloudberry is good. Before points out that Tasha Erbai is my backup minstrel, so she doesn't see a lot of play, sadly. So, but yes, we have. I do have a lot of Dutch words as character names. So actually, you know what? Like let me go back and resort. We can just resort by name. Data sort by D. Yeah, that's fine. I do have some overlaps, but so I've got Adamantia. Let's see. It's mostly when we get over to Treebeard that I went a little nuts. Monstein. Monshine, so moonshine. Maritime, which is totally a wrong spelling, but I love it. Let's see. We've got Tourmaline, which is a gemstone. Veldspot, which is Veldspar. Venkel, which is a herb. I feel like I'm missing a few. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm thinking of your character names too. We set up some, and we also set up some alt accounts so we could play music, and so we have a whole band. We also have a full field for Hobnanigans, and a lot of those are Dutch flowers and Dutch flowers or gemstones in Dutch. Yeah. So. Faradol says, holy cow, that is a sheet of names. Well, this is what I was talking about earlier, is that it was really important to me to go through and list every character that I have on every server in preparation for the transfers that are coming up, because, you know, there's stuff I want to do and I want to make sure that I have full information, you know, going into that. All right, so Li for X, Li's. Oh, I'm gonna put this under here. Traceries. Forgot the level. That's fine. So we're gonna throw these in here for now, and then we'll sort this out on the other end. But this is her personal storage, so I know this will be great. Like, it'll definitely be going with her no matter what happens. That'll be easy. You can see I have a lot of boxes that she hasn't opened too. As I buy like new coffers and things like that, I don't always go through all of my characters and open them, so there's some time involved with that in the future. Okay, so let's go back to Klaus, because his inventory is full and we gotta figure that out. I'll go ahead and do that. So Immortality says, oh, ironically, I started playing LOTRO in 2010 when it went free to play. The launcher never had a mention of which servers were European, so you chose Rittermark. Joined a kinship that would say good morning every time I came home from school. Never could understand why. Oh, that's so funny. And then joined them on raid call for years and ended up dropping my Dutch accent and keeping my American one. That's so wild. Yeah, it's so funny. There's so many people here. Dutchies are really good at speaking English. They learn English in school. It's one of the required classes. And even people who are like 50, 60 years old had to take English, but some people don't. They had no reason to continue to speak English. So some folks, especially as you get further and further away from the coast, like closer to Germany, you run into more people who don't practice speaking English. But So, but the Dutchies do have to learn English in school. And so a lot of times we run into somebody and they're like, they're fine. Like maybe a word choice here or there that's a little weird, but like who doesn't do that in a second language or third or fourth language, as it is for some of these folks. And so like, and then they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, my English isn't very good. And I'm like, your English is fantastic. I don't, like, you're doing great. Yeah, we always say your English is better than our Dutch. So we're fine with speaking, with your English if you're okay with continuing on with that. Dude, I need a carry-all so bad. I need a housing carry-all so bad. But for now, we're just going to throw stuff in here until I figure out what I'm doing with it and figuring out who is taking what. Because I did go ahead and do a bunch of these funky, like, what are those things called? The trophies. I went ahead and had the trophies made into physical items, and it's not really my jam, but I did it for the silliness of being able to put stuff up on the walls and whatnot. So I've got to figure out what's going on with that. Do I want the kegs to go with the Bjornings or to go with the kinship? Ironically, the kinship name is Bear, but I'm not sending any of my Bjornings with the kinship. Oh, nar. I'm pretty bummed carry-alls didn't go on sale this week or last. Me too. Fairdold says we need a carry-all sale. Yes, we do. Oh my gosh. Well, the way I look at it is this Thursday is their last chance to put carry-alls on sale. So I really hope, I really, really, really hope they go on sale soon. So, yes, Immortality says I need carry-all for my carry-alls. That's funny. People have mentioned that, have brought that up before, and SSG has said they cannot do that. It would, create a rip in the fabric of the space-time continuum or whatever. So, oh well. Yeah, Erebos says, my English isn't very good. Person literally speaks English better than 80% of us Americans. That's funny. It's really funny because English is my first language, from the US. And I did learn, when I was in school, high school and college, I took a lot of different foreign languages. I had 6 in total, actually, because I really like foreign languages. But you don't get a chance to really practice them outside the classroom. And so I didn't really, get very proficient at any of them. And the closest one I got to is French because I took 4 years of it in total. But then you don't use it, and it's just classroom French as well. So it's not like the French that you would necessarily use in a daily conversation in France, for example. Anyway, so I lost most of my, language proficiency that I had in any other languages. So it's been a real interesting challenge to now be learning something new. But I'm definitely enjoying learning another language. I'm glad I finally am feeling like I'm, joining the ranks of the most of the world who speaks more than one language, which is nice. Sometimes there's times when I'm like, no, I am done. I do not want to speak something. I just want to have words come out of my mouth and not have to think about it. But I tell you what, though, it's so funny because you get something in your brain, and I get to the point where I forget English words because I'm so used to the Dutch words, or I just forget everything altogether. It's like all the words just are gone. So that's entertaining. So yeah. Ferdold asked, do I know any Japanese words? Before does. He took way more Japanese than I did. I know wakarimasen, which means I don't understand, or I don't know. I forget. I know enough. So I took Russian also, and we learned a little ditty, which was Я не знаю, ничего, ничего не знаю, ничего не знаю, хорошо. Which is basically saying, I don't know anything. And then you're like, cool. It's a very silly little ditty. But that's like the sort of thing I remember. Um, oh, any other Japanese? I'm trying to think if I remember any other Japanese. Yeah, B4 can do way more Japanese than I can. He actually went and took some more Japanese in the last like 10 years, and so he's a little more brushed up on it than I am. Oh, I know, hi, but that's not like very very useful. I probably know more German, even though I've never taken German, than I do Japanese at this point. Although if you plonk me down in Japan somewhere, I might hear things and be like, oh, I do know that word. So, let's see. Oh, so Immortality says, this might be a stupid question, but I don't usually watch SSG's channel on Twitch. Do you work for SSG or with them as a preferred partner? That's so funny. We had this conversation not that long ago, but that's totally fine. No, I am just a volunteer. I'm just here for fun. Most of us who stream on this channel are doing it for fun. We're not in any way connected to SSG. Oh, I forgot I had the rain sitting there. Gosh, where did I attach that? Oh, good. Yeah, I just, every so often, Cordovan, who is the SSG community manager, will put out like a call saying, hey, we're looking for streamers. Anybody? Yes, a small leak inside the house. I thought that was funny. They'll be like, yeah, if there's anybody who wants to stream on the channel, contact me and we can talk about, what you do and if you'll be a good fit, that sort of thing. So Cord put that out 4 years ago, I think. And I was like, well, I'd already been putting together some little guides on how to do some festival things and like video guides and also a little website and stuff. So anyway, Cordovan had seen some of that, and I said I was interested in streaming during festivals and showing people how to do festivals and what I know and that sort of thing. And so he said, yeah, that seems like a good fit. So that's when I started streaming on the stream team. So that was a few years ago. And then B4 and B4 is my partner. He's here in the house. He's on a different floor at the moment. But he also streams. Usually he streams right after me. By the by, today he will not be streaming. He has actually some another conflict, some work stuff. So he will not be streaming today. Sorry to tell you. But normally he streams. We stream back to back. But anyway, and he has gotten really into the LOTRO plugins and has been doing LOTRO plugin development. And so that's his jam. And so he also started streaming on the channel like 6 months or so, maybe a year after me. So yeah, so we both actually stream on here, which is kind of fun. I know, Skagosi, sorry, no B4 for you today. But he'll be back next week, should be. Oh, so Dodger, Artful Dodger Artful, says, oh, bummer, I had a techie question. You can ask it here in my chat. He's in the chat. He's paying attention at the moment. Hopefully it's not too distracting from the other stuff he's doing. I'm debating if I should start selling off some of like these things that I can buy from the vendor, because Yiminy Christmas, I have a lot of stuff here and I don't know that I need it all. Like the wall paints maybe, and maybe a couple wall surface or floor surfaces, but wow, I don't feel like I need as much as I have. Oh, and I was thinking about selling some other stuff too, wasn't I? I think I might sell some of these like Ivar's banner and stuff like that, because that's not one of my things. And the laden banquet table, it's only usable in a couple of houses and I can always buy a new one. So I think we're going to get rid of that. Cave troll trophy. So here's the problem with selling these trophies is if I sell the trophy and I want it again in the future, I have to go and do the quest or instance or whatever where you find those, and I don't want to deal with that. So I think I probably will just keep some of it for now. That one come from? I don't remember. Keeping the ivy. I remember where I got that. Oh, we could well, let's see. The map to Winterholm. See, this is what takes me so long. Is I could just put that over here and it will stack with all the other maps that I have. Yes, Erebos points out that Plugging Along with B4 is the usual stream title for the stream that B4 does. So this Rohirric wooden cradle is something that you can actually earn from doing some quests in the neighborhood. Here, I'll go show you. Actually, this is a wild idea. And each of your characters, I believe, when you have a house in a Rohan neighborhood, each of your characters is eligible to do this. Erebor says, I don't have that issue. I don't have a lot of housing deco. Lucky you. Because I do. In fact, there's stuff out here I haven't picked up either, so I'm not ready to sell this house. Oh, yeah, like that Rohirric antler pole. That I was able to just buy from the vendor, so I think I'll probably just sell it. Oops, I ended up at somebody's house. Sorry. So what happens if I don't take the road. Oh my gosh, where have I ended up? Holy moly. Totally went the wrong way. There's the road. Okay. Here we go, wandering. Oh yeah. I took the names off, didn't I? So Celiflad here, she has a quest that's like, hey, get to know your neighborhood. And then once you've started that, there's like daily quests you can do. And then as you do those daily quests, oh, I haven't fixed that. Where's my reputation panel? Townsfolk of the Eastfold here is then a reputation that you fill in with these folks. So reputation of the Eastfold, and if I were to do like this one, I would get 900 reputation with this group, and I'm at 800 out of 4,000, and it has like 4 tiers, I think it is. We put this information in the wiki. And at 2 of the tiers, there's a housing item that they give you, and one of those is that cradle. Now, there are 2 different Rohan housing neighborhoods. There's this one, which is kind of more, you know, in the foresty area. And then there's one that's more in the plains. And each one of them has a different set of things that you can earn from doing those quests. So that's something to take a look at and see if, you know, if those are housing items that you would want, because you get them for free, in the sense that, you know, you have to own a house in the neighborhood, and then every one of your characters, I think every one of your characters, the reason I'm questioning myself on this all of a sudden is because Klaus is the house owner in this neighborhood, and so now I'm doubting myself whether all of your characters can do it or only the one who owns the house. Well, you know what? I mean, like, we can just go check. I'm going to go check. I'm going to grab somebody else and we'll check. So, yeah, Erebos has mostly from quests or vendors and from taxidermy. Oh my gosh, I buy so many housing items from festivals. There's a lot of really good festival stuff. Yeah. So, or the ones you end up selling to an NPC. What are you even doing? Oh, you know what? I should come in as Tide because there's a bound item. So I'll grab that while I'm on with her. The only reason why I don't log in with her as much is because she's the one that's done the most out of all these characters. And so logging her in and logging her out takes the longest to do that logging process. So kind of like, you know, try to keep her, only log her in when I need her is what I mean to say. Yeah, so. Okay, so B4 and Dodger Artful are talking about some stuff, some techie stuff. Awesome. And so Erebos gets the small stockpile of the signs from the Halloween event. I keep a small amount of those and then I sell the rest of them. So I'm like, I do not need all of these. I used to keep them all, and then at some point I was like, nope, done. So see what I mean about how you can collect so many ingredient crates? I just, like, you log in with your character, first thing you do, get your ingredient crates. Just like, you know, let's travel there. So if you didn't know, you can open your housing panel, which I've created a shortcut to it. And if you click this little arrow button, it automatically begins the travel skill to take you to that place. Oh yeah, airboats, you keep like 2, then vendor the rest. I think that's a wise way to do it. Actually, I think I'm just gonna ride. Oh wait, no, I wanted to not ride to the house. I wanted to go check the person. Now, I may have already done the quest though, in which case it wouldn't show up. If the ring's not there for her, we can check with Cloudberry because. Oh yeah, okay, cool, 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 cool. So yeah, so yes, any one of your characters can come in and do the stuff. Okay, cool. And then she just has, I think, the regular stuff. Browse the shop. Yeah, so she has some fun housing items that you can buy, like the crates that have like breads. This one has like butcher stuff in it. This one has cheese. I'm so Dutch. Like, I'm in the right place. I love cheese. And there's so much cheese here. So good. Vegetables, vegetables. Yeah, so they have a lot of really, she sells a lot of really fun decoration stuff that you can now get on other, some of them you can get on other characters, other NPCs. But originally, she and her cohort were the only ones that had them. Okay, so I wanted to open shared storage because I have something here that is bound to me, and it's not that. Let's just double check. Cool, since I'm right here. Okay. Oh, I think I have these here because I want these to go with her. That's true. Yeah, okay. I am going to start taking some of this stuff out. Are we not responding? We're not responding. Okay. Oh, we'll give it a moment. Yes, you have a medium elf house. You don't have room for them all. One of the things I'm thinking about doing when we get sorted is like having different different houses having different themes. I think that might be kind of fun. Oh, what is going on? It's like being weird. So, and another thing too is we do have alt accounts, and so I'm thinking like maybe somebody was talking about maybe we could start making neighborhoods that have like a whole theme of a neighborhood. So like, you know, you'd have like a Yule themed neighborhood, and you could have a. Now this would only work in the premium neighborhoods where you can put the effects, because you can, there's this thing called ambient environments, which is a housing hook that only exists in premium houses. Does it go back? I think it exists in all the premium houses now. So I was wondering, I was just thinking, does it work in Belfast too? But it does, yeah. So, bum, 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 bum. Yeah, so we would have to do it in a premium neighborhood if we wanted to have it be like having all the ambient environments, but you can have like snow and stuff like that. So that would be pretty fun. That'd be really fun to do. Okay, so what is it in here that's bound to her? Nope. I think I was thinking about sending the ancient script with her just to make life easier on the other side, because I'm probably not, because I'm sending her to Orcrist and I don't plan to be very active there. So I was thinking if I send the ancient script with her, then she can refill the ancient script. So I think, yeah, so I think that's the way to go here. So I'm going to see how much of it I can fit in into my stash. Because it's in your shared storage. It's part of your wallet, your ancient script is. And so if I'm sending my wallet, I'm sending my shared items with a different character, with my Bjorning, it'll clear out that ancient script. And I want to make sure that she's got some to work with on the other side. All right, and I'll give her some rejuvenation potions. That seems like a nice thing to do. Sure, who doesn't love Dale Men's crayons? And dun, 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 dun. Oh, interesting. I don't have maps over there. I guess because she's a hunter, I often got rid of a lot of her maps. I was just selling them off. Let's see. Oh, we have this embellished coffer of ancient script. Let's add that to the the box where I set those. There it is. Cool. Now, is this, yeah, it's that tome of lesser deed acceleration. So she's gonna, oh, nope, we're gonna lose our tab. Come back here. There we go. So she's gonna keep that over here so I don't end up putting it back in here by mistake. Because that happens. And do I care about rally horns? I do not. Okay. So cool. So that section is done. Hoorah. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so Dodger Artful has another follow-up question for B4. Excellent. Oh, and figured it out. Oh, by the way, though, speaking of friends list, and I mentioned this earlier, but I know some of you weren't here yet. Your friends list is server specific. So if you are transferring, make sure that you get screenshots of your friends list before you transfer. So that way you can then go ahead and recreate it on the other end if that's something that you want to do, because it might be something you want to do. Okay, so what I have left to do with these characters is figure out what I want to keep with my elf. You know, what is she taking with her to Orchrist? And then make sure then that I'm fine with everything else then going with everybody else to the other server. And probably undecorate the house in Bree in terms of taking out the things that I want to send with the bears. And then I could just pop stuff in there in those housing slots that's going with her. And then that would just end up in her inventory later, and that's fine. I think that's fine. All right. Well, I think I'm going to start to wrap it up here. So let's just review real quick. So if you have anything else you want to talk about in the chat, throw it into the chat now, so we don't miss out. And then here is the page from SSG. So this is on LOTRO.com, and it's called New 64-bit servers are coming soon. This is where they go through everything that's from their side. All the information provided by SSG. So they go over, you know, what's going on. 64-bit servers are coming. 2 will be in the US. 2 are going to be in Europe. So if you include Angmar and Mordor, that would mean a total of 6 in total, 3 and 3. They intend to keep the existing 32-bit worlds open, but they hope and expect many players will want to transfer to the 64-bit worlds. So right now it will be a free transfers to get everybody over to 64 bits. And then they haven't said if or when they'll be closing the 32-bit servers, but I would expect that they said in the fall they'll take a look at it. So I expect they wouldn't close it right away, but just be prepared that there is the possibility, I would say, that these servers might be closed by the end of the year, possibly within a year. So just keep an eye on that. Oh, Immortality. Yes, by the way, okay, so Immortality says, my old account got lost with the characters on Rittermark, so when I started playing again as an adult, I just swiped my credit card to get most of it back, but I only have one alt on Evernight, so not much to transfer, just doubting between Orchrist or Meriadoc, not much of an RP here, but I'm looking for the most populated server. Most populated is going to be Orchrist over Meriadoc. I can almost guarantee it. Most of the people I think are going to Orchrist. And if you're not really into the RP scene, then being on Meriadoc would be kind of weird. So, yes. However, yes, as B4 points out, you might be able to get your characters off of Rittermark. You lost the email that has the characters. That's an interesting question. If you know anything about your old account, if you have details about it that you know, like if you know the old email, you might be able to contact SSG, put in a ticket, and see if they'd be able to help you get those characters off. You might want to wait till that's happening, but or you can do it now. Once the new servers open, I expect there's going to be a bit of a a rush of customer service tickets as people are, like, oh, I can't do this, I can't figure out that, blah, blah, blah. Oh, they said someone else owned your account, so it must have gotten hacked. Oh, that's too bad. Well, it's too bad in the sense also because, like, if you still had that account, it would count for the years, because every year we get anniversary gifts, and each year that increments, you get different anniversary gifts. So, like, year 11, I think it is, you get this really cool emote called Elevensies, where your character's sitting in, like, they eating a pie and then they're like taking a drink or whatever. And so I'm looking forward to having an account that is 11 years old, because then I can get that emote, that sort of thing. So I guess that's maybe more important to some of us than others, though. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. You've spent money on the current account, so you wouldn't want to swap accounts. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, okay. So, yeah. So, just to recap what's coming, today is Tuesday, February 25th. The next Monday that occurs is Monday, March 3rd. And on that date, if you are a VIP or lifetime subscriber, you are able to log into the new game worlds to get to the character creation screen. That's as far as you're going to be able to get. And you're going to be able to create 3 characters. So this is how you're saving the names. You're going to create 3 characters, and that's as far as you get. You don't even go through the intro or anything. You're just getting the names, and then you're out. And you are able to do that on every server, all 4 of the new 64-bit servers, if you want to. Oh, thanks for the follow. As I mentioned, I don't do a lot of streaming over on my channel. I'm usually here, but occasionally we do, because if I'm doing LOTRO, I'm going to be here. But occasionally I do find space in my schedule to stream other things. So yeah, as before and I were talking about earlier, maybe we'll get back to some Planet Crafter next week while we have some extra free time. Let's hope so. The cat's looking at me like, what? Okay, so next Tuesday, VIPs, subscribers. Oh, sorry. Let me scoot back. My bad. Monday, VIP subscribers get to do the thing, log in, grab 3 names, done. Okay. 24 hours later, on Tuesday, you can then go through the transfer process. And during that transfer process, your characters that are transferring are not available for playing. And so you need to stay out of LOTRO to let those characters do their thing. The game worlds, the new game worlds themselves will not be open. They will be closed, but the transfer tool will be available so you can be transferring all your characters over. Okay, so that's happening on Tuesday, a week from today. And it's actually happening during my stream is when that begins. So I will be doing transfers live during my stream. So if you are concerned about the process or you want to see it in action, one, I did do a video about it, like a 6-minute video, and I'll make sure that that link is in the description. I'll be posting this up on my YouTube channel, which that we could probably use a link for. Let me see if I can find it real quick, or B4 will beat me to it. That's the website. I want the YouTube. Kabam. There we go. That's my YouTube channel. And I might at some point start doing a cross stream kind of thing where it's streaming from here and there at the same time, but I haven't gotten around to that. Oh, thanks, honey. Yeah, he got the nicer thing. But I do have playlists on here. So LOTRO guides we have here. Yule Festival. So guides are generic, but anything that's festival specific will have its own, generally will have its own thing. So like the Harvest Festival is there, the Yule Festival is there. B4's plugins streams are there. My streams from here, my live LOTRO streams are all here in the LOTRO Team Streams channel. And then my Planet Crafter ones are there right now. And then, yeah, so in the LOTRO guides, we have, let me pause that. Here we have the wizard walkthrough. This is the only guide it's the only one in this so far, but we'll have others hopefully in there. So, and in this one, I walk you through the actual transfer wizard and is, what each step means, and then how you proceed through each of these steps. So I thought that might be useful for people who might be a little nervous about the process. So feel free to watch that ahead of time so you kind of know what to expect. And then also I will be doing it live on stream next Tuesday. I'll be grabbing my handy dandy spreadsheet and working my way through who is going where and when. Okay, so that's next. Let me pull this back over. So that's, oh, stop doing that. Give me that. There we go. That's next Monday, and then Tuesday, and then Wednesday you can finally log in on the new servers. So if you are in a kinship, if you are able to let your kin leader log in first, that's ideal, because then the kinship, all the kinship data travels with that kinship leader, and then you will be automatically slurped back into your kinship. But if you don't want to wait, just tell your kin leader to add you back to the kin later on. So this is the SSG guide. This is a really good one. It's got a lot of information there. So check that out. There's the Deco de Milieu website where it's all LOTRO housing stuff. And he has a special FAQ just about housing. Most of this is basically covered in that SSG guide, but this is laid out with a mind specifically to talk about housing. And he actually sat down, Yao, who runs the website, sat down with the folks at SSG and, got the answers confirmed for this FAQ. So there's some really good information here. If you're still not sure about what to do with your housing or how's this going to go, all of that, that's all right there. And then, yeah, like I said, and there's a lot of little guides that have been coming out. People have been putting out questions. There's somebody created this great migration guide. It's on a Google Docs thing, so hopefully it's safe, but it basically covers the same things that you see over in here, but it's just laid out differently, and maybe grab some things from different places. The LOTRO Discord also has a lot of people talking about stuff, so that's also another resource, as is the forums. A lot of people are talking there. And then, again, you can kind of do a similar thing like what I'm doing with my spreadsheet, where I've got basically, I listed out all of my characters, so I have the who, and then by looking at, okay, where are my Bjornings going? Do I have Bjornings going enough places? Where are these names going? Do I have the spread out the names thing? Do I have a hunter? Do I have a high level? Do I have a low level? Like, trying to accommodate all the things that are important to me of where my people are going. So I've got the who and I've got the where. And then thinking about, well, what all do they have? Like, who has those premium ingredient crates? Who has these decoration items? Who has the carry-alls? And so figuring out what is going to each server, and then figuring out who's going to then carry that if I am splitting characters. There are some servers like Laurelin where all of my characters are going to the same place, so it's fine. It doesn't matter, who takes the shared storage or any of that business. But then also what's important for me is people who I have that are, for example, the kin leaders. They need to be sure to get there before other people in the kinship get there if they want to continue to be in that kinship automatically. So, marking when am I transferring various characters. Some people, I'm not the kin leader. I want to wait till the kin leader goes. And the character that I'm sending is not a high priority. So I'm just going to wait and make sure that the kin leader has gone, and then I will transfer. So I have another category I created called when, transfer when. So I've got my who, I've got my where, I've got my what, and I've got my when. So that pretty much covers almost everything you would need to figure out. I mean, basically what it comes down to on the transferring is figuring out what your priorities are. For me, it's making sure that I have a good setup for the role playing that I do on Laurelin, now over on Meriadoc in the future. And then if I do any like raiding or questing, where am I doing that and which characters would be doing that, and making sure they're going to be set up in the location where I want them to be. And then also being mindful of the things that are in my wallet, for example, the Mithril coins. Anything that's in green is your shared wallet, and it will go with whoever takes these shared items. So, and I talk about that in that walkthrough of the character wizard. So just be prepared to see all the stuff in green get slurped off and going with whoever it is that you send the shared items with. One of the biggest things for me to be careful about is the Embers of Enchantment, Figments of Splendor, and the Motes of Enchantment, because there is a cap of 10,000 on each of those. And as things are coming in from the different servers, it will hit the cap and it will stop. So I will lose anything over that cap, and I don't want to lose stuff. So I need to be cognizant of that and go buy mounts or pets or housing items with the figments that I have at this time. So, so yeah, that pretty much covers everything that I've got going on in my mind. So thanks for coming along and letting me just kind of work my way through a bunch of my inventory with you all. I mean, this is a process that I'm working on, so I figure, you know, we might as well do this together, right? So yes, I need all the shiny things, says Prophets TVs. I understand. Always running into bag space issues. I am really, really, really hoping that they give us carryalls on sale next week. It's Thursday. Thursday is when the sales flip over. But we will see. We will see. Here's hoping, huh? All right. Well, thanks everybody, and thanks for the the kudos in the chat there. And Immortality, thanks for being on my second monitor. Hey, anytime. Julie's Quest, thanks for the stream. Really helped me feel better about getting this stuff together too. Yeah, that's really what it is, Julie's Quest. I think I function better when I feel like I have all the data that I would like to have. And so for me, that was cataloging who all do I have. And I maybe went into the weeds a little bit on some things. For example, I wasn't sure if I was deleting anybody. And so I have a category for that. As it turns out, I'm probably not. Is there anybody whose names I would like to rename? And thinking about that. And then like, what in the world are these people carrying in their storage? Is that stuff that I want to be paying attention to? In the wallet, like some people have a bunch of bingo badges, and I was like, well, I'm definitely not deleting that character until they spend all of those, things like that. And then just any other thoughts that I had to kind of help try to keep me on track. That didn't fit into a different category and didn't really deserve a category of its own. So yes, the spreadsheet thing makes me happy. Oh, and you're not even, I had everything on one sheet. So I had all of this on one sheet, plus all these little secondary things that I've got. So like, I actually started a to-do list. So on Tuesday, do these things. On Wednesday, do these things. I started tracking who has items that I wanted to be aware of, like the crates or pigs in a blanket. I have my to-do list going over here. And then I realized I needed to know where all my carryalls were. And then I realized I have a lot of different types of carryalls. So, so those are all listed out so that way I know where they're going to go. And then I realized housing writs, I needed to know where those were going to go. So I have a category for them too. And then, I have my whole, how many houses do I have and where and what do I need to do with those? So breaking it out, though, has really helped me feel like I have a better handle on what will make me happy and feel most successful in accomplishing getting people to where I want and the things to where I want them to be. So yeah, Prophets, you're serious about a game when you break out the spreadsheets. And that's funny because this is a copy of the spreadsheet I'm actually using. So, because I wanted to make it a little bit more server friendly or streamer friendly. Now you get on my lap. What timing she has. All right. Anyway, have a great rest of your week. Good luck in all of your preparation. Remember, there is no requirement to transfer. So if you don't want to deal with it at the beginning of next week, you don't have to. The only reason why it's important to me is because there are certain houses that I want to get. That's really what it comes down to. And so I know that I need to get there early to make sure that those houses are still available. But you know what? There's a lot of my characters that I'm like, I'm just going to take my time. There is no rush to get them over there because they're not the characters that I'm planning to play by a certain date. And yeah, I'm not doing anything specific with them. So do whatever makes sense for you and think about what's most important for you in your LOTRO journey and plan your migration around that. And I think you will find it brings down some of the stress for you. So, all right. Yes, reminder, there is no plugging along today after my stream. Thanks for that reminder before. So after me, go make some dinner, have some lunch, have a nap, do some work if that's something you're supposed to be doing. And let's see, I think Meilung was streaming on Tuesdays, but like evening US time. So I don't know what time he's on. I'm sorry, I'm usually in bed by then. So hopefully, yeah. And I know I saw there's some other streamers doing LOTRO right now. In fact, I think one of our streamers is often on the same time as me on Tuesdays on his own channel. Anyway, so go enjoy, have a restful rest of your day, I hope. And I will see you all here next week when we will be doing some transfers live, assuming everything is on schedule. All right. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. And I will see you in a week. All right. Bye.